welcome back to Photo Story. And last week I took you to the country of Tunisia. In fact, where my wife is from, and I showed you some sights in her hometown about a little fair there. But today, and I've got some pictures here and you'll see some on the screen, I'm going to take you to Djem, Tunisia. And this is actually a very unique place because it is the only site outside of Rome where there is an intact Roman Colosseum. In fact, Tunisia used to be part of the Roman Empire, so I bet a lot of you didn't know that. So this particular Colosseum is also a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and a few years back I got the opportunity to go there, and I want to show you some of the pictures here. So I don't know all the ins and outs of this place, but I'm going to show you the pictures and we'll kind of guide through it. So some of these first pictures you're seeing up on the screen are kind of hallways where I guess the patrons that were coming to see the fights and the animals and the gladiators would walk through, so you can kind of see there kind of what they might have seen back in the day there. And as you move into the exterior, you can see a lot of this is actually collapsed. But it's still in decent condition, maybe not quite to the Roman Colosseum level in Rome, but still pretty good condition. So you can see the dilapidation of the building there. You can also see kind of where the patrons would sit, although a lot of that has collapsed. So a lot of fun stuff going on there. And you do see some, some better put together parts as well. So I remember we walked around at the top, and then we headed actually down, I guess, where the gladiators would be, or where the animals will be kept that they actually fight. And some of these scenes are kind of, I don't know if you want to call them spooky or almost like someone was just there maybe. So we have a couple of shots that where some light is shining through the doorway. And I'm really pleased from a composition standpoint, as well as the lighting, how it worked. It was very low light. This is an older camera back then, so you do have a little bit of noise there. But I still think they're decent shots. And of course, you can take you down into the bottom there. There's hallways, and actually on either side of those halls are cages where I guess the animals or the gladiators or slaves might have been kept during Roman times. So you see all that there. And then there were these skylights. I can't recall exactly why those were there, but I do remember that I guess it brought in some light is probably what it did. Let me see here. So then we go ahead and went up to the top. We came back up again, and you got some this couple of images there with some nice composition of what's on the ground with the kind of the decaying structure there at the top, which is pretty interesting. They've been doing a pretty good job keeping what is still there. You can see they've installed some railings. There was some supports as well that have been put out. One particular picture, there was a little plant. I love putting, from a rule of third standpoint, putting in a kind of an element in one of those four quadrants to kind of direct your eye, and I like that there with the plant. And then as we get close to the end here, we then can see the city of Djem kind of off in the distance there. Basically the way it works is part of I guess one side of the Colosseum is more standing than the other, and it's kind of a nice juxtaposition that you can kind of see the collapsed ruins of the Colosseum with the city in the distance. And this final photograph, I hadn't noticed this until actually a few days before I filmed this particular video. It's a nice juxtaposition. You have the amphitheater on the right, and then you have I guess what you say, a traditional Tunisian building there on the left. The Romans were eventually, I guess the Roman Empire collapsed. Eventually the Arabs moved in. You had, of course, not only a change in religion, of course, when that happened to Islam, but you also had a change in the architecture. And I really like this picture because it shows, the old and the new. So that basically sums up our trip there to Djem. I'm not an expert on it, but I hope you did enjoy the images. And as you can see, Nala joined us this week. Last week, she was annoyed with me, and because I had taken her blanket, it looks like she's forgiven me. So do appreciate you watching Photo Story here. Make sure to check out my YouTube channel. If you're on Facebook, you can check out a lot of the videos there. Instagram, or just some of the videos. We can't upload all of them because there's restrictions with file size and time limit and all that. But check out on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. I do appreciate you watching, and we'll see you next time. Have a good one. Bye-bye.